Hello. Right, so today I'm going to be changing the air vent valve flap control thing, one of them basically, in my Vauxhall Astra J 2011. What I have noticed recently is when I go to press buttons on the dashboard to change the direction the air comes out at, it doesn't actually do anything. So it seems to be stuck on coming out at the windscreen and coming out a little bit in your face as well. So I'm going to show you whereabouts it is in the car and how you change it, what tools you need. So first thing you're going to have to do is take the glove box out, which you've got to take that panel off there, and then there's 4 screws in each corner. So let's have a look at that bit. So you're going to want a trim tool of some description. I've got this one, which came with one of my plastic sheds. To move that seal out of the way. So tuck it behind the seal like that, and it should just sort of pop off. There we go, so that's that bit out of the way. And that's giving you access to the bottom bolt there. These are all 7mm, so you're going to want a 7mm socket on an extension. So I'll whip them out. And you want to be popping your screw somewhere safe. So that's got in the cup holder. Once you open your glove box, you'll see one up there, one in there, and there's one further down the bottom down there. So I'll pop them out as well. Right, so I've whipped all 4 7mm bolts out, one in each corner. Now the glove box is free, and you should be able to just pull it forward and it will come straight away. What you will need to do is unplug the light there. That's the glove box out. Now whilst you're doing this job, you might want to think about changing your pollen filter, which is just behind that panel there. It is literally just a couple of clips, one at either side, and you can get your pollen filter out. So the piece in question we are replacing is that little motor up there. Not going to be very easy to get to. Shame it's not that one. Now you'll ignore the extra wiring I've got in here because I've got a subwoofer. You won't have all this purple wiring away unless you've got a sub and you ran your cabling the same way I have. So that's your multi-plug at the bottom there to get to it. So let's have a look and see what tools I'm going to want to try and undo this. Now I know it's going to be a bit of an awkward one to get to, so I've got this very short T20 bit adapter. I'm going to put it in this pair of long nose vice grippy plier things, so it will look like that, and then I can turn it to gain a bit better access because it's very thin to get to. So let's see if I can undo the first one. Oh, before I start undoing them, what I better do, I'll put the ignition on and I'll press some buttons on the dash so I make sure that the motor is in the right place for where the car thinks it is. So I'll put it on, say, face only or screen only. I'll manually turn that big white wheel until I can visibly feel the air coming in or coming out of the right place. Then I can turn your replacement one, because it's got various bits you'll recognise. It's got like a little luggy bit there and an indent there and a little notch cut out there. So what I'll do is I'll turn this one to match, and then in theory I should be able to just drop this in, plug it in, and the car will automatically recognise it's in the right place. I hope. Right, so as you can see there, I've got it set to come out on face only. I'm just going to check the vents. So there's nothing coming out at the feet vent, and there's nothing coming out at the top vent, so it is all purely on face, so that is now correct. I'm going to try and note whereabouts this white wheel is. So it has got a little cutout just pointing almost straight down. So there's my replacement one, so you can see the cutout just by my thumb there, which needs to be pointing straight down. So the motor orientates like that. I'm just going to turn this one manually. So the motor orientates like that. Just going to manually turn this one. So that's pretty close. About as close as you're going to get it anyway. Right, so I can now turn the ignition off. You should probably disconnect the battery at this point, but I'm not going to bother about that bit. Turn the ignition off, and then we're going to have another look and try and get the screws out from there, which are the T20s. So we'll have a look at that bit. Right, so looking at the two motors in comparison to one another, I can physically see one screw up there, so that's going to be that one. Logically, the only other screw hole is going to be up there, because that's going to be a locating pin. It's going to have to be offset from one another. I can't physically see the screw, but I can just about feel one. So that's going to be in that hole there. So let's give this a whirl. It can only go wrong once, can't it? Well, it can go wrong several times, to be fair. What I am doing is kneeling down on gravel. And anyone over the age of 30 will know kneeling down on gravel is not fun. So let's get these screws out. Right, as with everything on this channel, I keep it as real as I can. I can't do it. So, gone back indoors, and I've made a little tool, a little 1/4 inch ring spanner with the T20 Torx bit blue tacked into the ring spanner end of it. So I'm hoping that's going to be a bit better to give me access to doing it. Otherwise I'm just going to have to give up. Right, so you can see the motor's now out. I've took the two screws out which hold it in. What I've had to do, a bit of a bodge really, but it worked. See where I've got all that gunk at the top there? The camera's not going to focus on it. That's actually blue tack. So what I was doing is putting the Torx bit into there, and then popping a blob of blue tack on the end of the Torx bit, so that sits in this head of the screw, and I can pull that part off it, and then I can sort of use it to undo it with. What a flipping nightmare. I wouldn't wish this upon my worst enemy. It's a bloody horrible job. I've been at it now. That top screw, no word of a lie, I've been doing that for 3 hours. So not what I wanted to be doing today. I thought it would be a little bit easier than that, but we're on to a bit of a winner finally, hopefully. So let's put the new motor in and just pray to God that it works. You may or may not see that there, but that's the new motor in position. So I've just got to screw it on and plug it in now. So right, so before I screw it in, I'm just going to sort of hold it with a little bit of gentle pressure where it should be, and I'm just going to press the various buttons on the dash to see if it blends the air into the correct places where it should be. You may or may not be able to see in a mo, desk moving. I'll try and do it with 2 hands. So there's one hand holding it there. This isn't going to be easy at all. See that disc rotating? That should now be on screen and face. It's definitely coming out the face. And it's definitely coming out the screen. Let's put it down to back to face only. You see it rotating there. That's definitely coming out the face. Nothing's coming out the feet. And nothing's coming out the top. So back to feet. Face and feet, that was. A little bit of face, a little bit of feet. Turn it off with. See there? So we're now back on feet only. Ah, perfect. This is working an absolute charm. Get in. I apologise if you're not being able to see really what's happening, but you're just going to have to trust the process. Right, filming this on my phone because I didn't actually take my camera out to the car this evening, because we're now on to the second night. I have now screwed the second screw in. I've been at this now for borderline 10 hours. What I did, I'm pissed off of it now, as you can probably tell. I went on Amazon last night and I bought a T20 Allen key. Allen key, funnily enough. It worked. The second screw is now in. In case you couldn't tell, I'm really fucking pissed off with this. So I'm just going to square away the glove box and all the other bits. So thank you for joining me on today's little, or today and yesterday's little outing in replacing the heater vent blower valve flap control thing. It goes to show you can physically do it, but just get somebody else to do it. Please like and subscribe, otherwise I'm going to go mental. Bye bye.